Let's get straight to that breaking news. State police say a 5-year-old boy and his mother were killed in a stabbing in Duanesburg last night. The suspect is in custody after calling police on himself. As cases of the coronavirus continue to rise across New York State, the governor says the microcluster approach is working. And we are really not moving at all, just a slow crawl. You certainly see that reduced visibility. Americans are ready to travel again, but there might be some delay. American Airlines is canceling hundreds of flights due to a significant lack of staffing. The unmistakable clickety-clack of typewriters has largely fallen silent. Yesterday, he said the apex would be reached in 14 to 21 days. Today, he's saying that could happen at different times in different places. Let's get straight out to News 10's Juliana Bruno. She is getting a live look at the scene there. A pretty good incentive to put your phone down a little bit more often. All that screen time could be causing horn-like bone spurs to appear on your skull. Not Unreal. A good look. Homeless people in Saratoga Springs still not sure where they will sleep next, especially during those colder months. And I learned that 34 people are taking advantage of the Code Blue overflow shelter. They're on mats inside. This is on top of the shelter already being at full capacity. Tonight, for that snow emergency, you gotta park on this side of the street. This is the even side where this car is now. They're just fine, even though, yeah, they haven't really dug out completely. Just a few moments ago, you missed it. Yeah, we saw a tow truck putting away your groceries for you while you're not home. You know, just putting the milk in the fridge and the cereal in the pantry.
What will they think of next?
Obviously, the secret ingredient here is maple syrup. And yes, I do a little transformation here. There we go. All ready to bake. That's magic. That's a cookbook that my sister made years ago with all our favorite family recipes.
Mary Fat Free.
Oh, of course, yeah. All my recipes are.
It's fine.
But it's that nice combination of, you know, you get the sweet and the spicy. And so it kind of like caramelizes. Do you ever lie to your spouse about who you voted for?
Oh boy.
Tim says, quote, "My wife and I voted last week, but we don't always agree politically. And when I vote, I usually just tell her I voted for the person she likes." So that is your better bet this morning. We're at 36 miles per hour here. Let's go out to one of our DOT traffic cameras and take a closer look at this. And we are getting some images from the scene here. We can go to that video sent in to us by a viewer. A Colorado couple says they know what happened to 3 Americans who fell ill at a Dominican Republic resort because they say the same thing happened to them.
It is a beautiful day for Travers, as you mentioned. Crowds running in this morning at 7 o'clock, setting up camp now, finding the spot where they want to spend this fabulous day.
The scope of this damage is just so wide. Not only were seasonal homes damaged and destroyed, but also cars. But the folks who live here say, hey, they're used to this. This is kind of normal to them, and it has been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, John, and they say they are ready all day long. We watch salt deliveries pile into this massive salt shed here.
I just spoke with the fire chief, who confirmed to me that there were no working smoke detectors in this home when the fire broke out.
We've learned that the Cohoes Community Center is nearly $500,000 in debt. So these doors here are shut tonight for good. And people here in the community are saying it's the kids and the seniors who are paying the price.
The event being held on what would be his 33rd birthday. Elijah Cancer was killed a year ago by the very same thing that he worked tirelessly to end, and that is gun violence.
But wow, the presence here of fire companies is pretty amazing. There are about 10 fire trucks here lined up here on Walsh Road.
Diced shallots, salt, pepper, crushed red pepper, and some olive oil.
Ooh, and I see the first thing is my favorite. Take the second, fold, and place it halfway through the first. Continue until you have about 7. Then roll it up to reveal your rose. Add some greenery to hide that dowel. Fasten it in place with wire, leaving some space in the middle for a festive bow. Slowly peel that wax paper off. Look how cool that is. And if you'd rather digital reminders, the free app Daily Water Drink Reminder lets you record your water intake and will send you notifications when you need to take a sip. When it comes to gifting plants, succulents are a great option because they're low maintenance, they don't require a lot of water, but they still look great.
Typewriters have mostly become an item of the past since the invention of computers, but some people are keeping the practice of typewriting alive.
And News 10 ABC's Mary Wilson tells us why a local man is still using a typewriter and how it led to a connection with a big celebrity.
The feeding of paper, clacking of keys, and ding of the carriage return compose a typewriter song that's music to Scott Connor's ears.
It also gives you the feeling of this tactile experience of this hitting a key and it's going on the paper and you're doing it right there.
Thoughts become a permanent trail of ink. There's no spell check, backspace, or digital distractions.
Any other thing that can pop up on the computer, text message, email, so you find that it's just me and the typewriter and I'm sitting down and I'm just going to type on this. They call it a batwing.
Connor's obsession with the nostalgic machine fills his home.
And this is the oldest one in my collection.
When he's not tinkering,
this machine looks like it did when it rolled off the assembly line in 1936.
he's scouring tag sales for elusive models, traveling hours away for what can feel like back alley deals.
Typewriter will be in a box on the porch, put the money in the mailbox. I felt like I was doing a drug deal.
I probably have 250 plus typewriters in my collection.
It's an enthusiasm he happens to share with movie star Tom Hanks. Connors decided to reach out to the kindred spirit.
I said, "Dear Tom, if there's a patron saint of typewriters, you're it."
He never expected a response, but there it was.
Totally surprised. I was shocked.
Hanks writes of culling his herd.
He says 25, I don't think I can ever get that low, which I have 25 machines, and he has, I think, 250.
And on a typewriter, even a celebrity's mistakes can't be corrected.
He just kept typing, crossed the X'd it out, and then signed it. And I was really, really happy that he'd actually taken the time to write me a letter and to say, hey, I'm probably going to be sending in a typewriter. Keep on the lookout for one.
A typewriter that will come to life in its own way.
They'll have their own little intricacies with them. And when I'm working on them, I always wonder, who typed on this? Did someone type a love letter? Did someone type a letter during World War II on this? Did someone type a suicide note? Did someone type a homework assignment? What was this used for?
I have them everywhere.
Connors wants to preserve these time machines and share them with others.
Okay, now you're off the paper, so you got to go back this way.
Under his gleeful tutelage,
You're going to town here.
Where's the one?
Lowercase I.
even the unskilled find joy in the satisfying thud of ink to paper. In Stephentown, Mary Wilson, News 10 ABC.
It's a story you'll see only on 10.
She survived a shooting and lost both her parents in an unthinkable tragedy, only to be victimized again when her wheelchair was stolen from outside this Albany apartment building.
Okay. I don't mean to do this. I'm sorry.
Fifth grader Fiona Williams is a pillar of strength, comforting her grandmother as the family faces yet another setback.
I would never thought that somebody would steal a child's chair.
Fiona is in pain. She walks with a limp, the result of being shot twice last September at her Port Wentworth, Georgia home, where police say Cedric Thompson opened fire on Fiona, her mother Monique Williams, and uncle Timothy Williams before turning the gun on himself. Fiona was the lone survivor.
She even had no sense to pretend to be dead. And that's when he shot himself because he thought she was dead.
Linda Williams is now raising Fiona. They found comfort at KIPP Charter School, where Fiona relied on her wheelchair to navigate the long hallways.
Sometimes my hip be hurting, and I'm gonna have to come after lunch and start getting some Tylenol.
School nurse Beth Sanz has become one of the family's greatest allies.
But something about that human spirit with them, that you just are compelled to be around them, and they give us all hope.
The inspiration is school-wide.
She's really a model for all of us of resilience.
Executive Director Stephanie Valley says Fiona is able to connect with other students who have endured trauma. How does she do it?
I just smile.
That positive attitude gives Linda, who had to bury her son and only daughter, the strength to move on.
My daughter, which is my princess, I call her my princess, can never be replaced, but this is my pumpkin.
Albany police say a report has been filed and they're investigating. If you have any information or would like to help out Fiona and her family, you can head to our website, news10.com. In Albany, I'm Mary Wilson, News 10 ABC.
She's a 5th grader and a shooting survivor, and when her wheelchair was taken, the community responded in a big way, and today she debuted her new wheels.
Fiona, could you wait on me?
There's no stopping her now. Fiona Williams confidently cruising the hallways in her brand new wheelchair.
I saw my wheelchair. I was like, ooh, some Hot Wheels, okay.
The first day on the new wheels means testing out all the bells and whistles, backwards and forwards. It might take a little getting used to. She and her grandma, Linda, overwhelmed by the kindness of the Capital Region.
They were supportive, and I loved them.
Fiona was the sole survivor in a shooting last September that left her mother and uncle dead. Still recovering from 2 gunshot wounds, her wheelchair made it easier to get around. So when it vanished from her front yard, the community stepped in.
I really want to thank everybody that had gave to her.
Well wishes and donations came pouring in from across the country.
I was like, Grandma, we got 2,000, Mama. We got 2,000.
And soon, the mystery of the missing wheelchair was solved.
I feel bad because of the situation that I probably had put the little girl in.
Charles Cannon says he took the wheelchair to a local scrapyard, mistaking it for junk. When the CEO of Weitzman Recycling caught wind of Fiona's story, he cooked up a special surprise that brought Linda to tears.
We're going to send our private jet, the company jet, down to pick you up, pick up your family. We're going to have a limousine pick you up at your house. We're going to go to Walt Disney for a couple days, all expense paid.
Yeah, I was happy. Me and my mom were screaming. I was like, ah!
She's gone through a lot, but none of it breaking that spunky spirit, something Linda says her daughter, Fiona's mother, would be proud of.
She'll be happy. She'll be proud of Fiona, period, because Fiona's a wonderful young lady.
And with Grandma by her side, Fiona will continue to heal and move forward, guided by the generosity of others. And boy, is she deserving. They expect to take their trip to Disney World sometime in the next 2 months, and it will be Fiona's first time on an airplane.